Hello everyone and welcome to the final FPL deadline stream of the year, Game Week 20. The deadlines have been thick and fast. We're finally at the end. So it's going to be an interesting week, that's for sure. I've got 2 free transfers. Haven't made a transfer yet. Still unsure of what transfer to make. So be interesting to see where we end up in 2 hours' time. Really exciting stream though. Heading for 30k subs. Can it be done by the end of the year? Well, I need your help. Make sure that you are liking the stream and subscribing to the channel as well. I'm going to run through all the injury news that we got through the press conferences yesterday. Pretty much a full slate of pressers, so at least we do have information to help us to prepare. We've got 6 fixtures today, starting with Luton v Chelsea, the early kickoff. So hopefully we'll get some leaks through on some team news from there. City play today as well at 3 o'clock against Sheffield United. But the likes of Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Newcastle come later in the game week. The game week ends on Tuesday evening with West Ham v Brighton. So it's a quieter stream than some, so good chance you'll get your questions answered. So make sure you're coming and saying hello in the chat. I can see I've got some mods and some members in already. So thank you to Akshat and VJ for modding today. My team, I'm in 2 minds what to do. I can either go from Darwin to Alvarez, which would probably mean Captain Alvarez, or I can go Lascelles out for Gusto to bolster the bench. I've got 2 free transfers, so it's whether I play safe and make a long-term move, or whether I just go for it and get the player I want this week. I think I am in 2 minds. I feel like I woke up this morning thinking I was making this Alvarez move, and in reality, it's not as nailed on as that. 5 goals and 8 assists this season for Alvarez. You know, home game against a promoted side you would think would be a shoo-in for captaincy. But I could go Salah captain. So what I would be most interested to know, and there'll be a few of you that disagree when I put the poll live on who to captain, and I do like this that VJ's mentioned in the chat that it's Ollie Watkins' birthday today. Yeah, Toonam says Gusto went up in price last night. Like, do you back the birthday boy, Watkins, at home to Burnley? I do apologise if your captain pick isn't on here, but I am just going to put the headline pick. So we've got Salah at home to Newcastle, Son at home to Bournemouth, Alvarez at home to Sheffield United, Watkins at home to Burnley. So I'll get your thoughts on the poll. See what you think. I could just make the move for Gusto. I would play Gusto this week if I brought him in place of Saliba. But if I was to bench Son next week, I've got Gusto there. Game week 21, in reality, if I was to do, and this is why this planner on the hub's so helpful, if I was to get Alvarez this week, then next week, Son and Salah are both at AFCON. So then I've got that difficulty of how do I get, I probably want Haaland back. And I don't know if I can sell both Salah and Son to get Haaland back. I don't know how that leaves me long term. I don't know where I'd go in midfield. Probably Bowen. Maybe a punt on like a Richarlison. So the money would work there. That would be a -4. But that would give me a strong front 8. So I guess it does work. but it doesn't leave me much of a bench in terms of defenders. So I'm not sold on that, if I'm honest. For a -4. I am really torn, to be fair, on what is best to do. So I'm interested to see what you think. My other option is I go Lascelles to Gusto this week. If he's going to come up, there he is. And I play Gusto over Saliba, who would be my first sub. And then next week, I could bench Son potentially. And play like I don't know, actually. It's difficult because I've not got a lot of money in the bank. I could sell Son. I don't know if I can sell Salah. Can I sell Salah to get Haaland? That gives me 5.4 million. So that doesn't really work. So I would have to sell Archer. I can't sell Archer, I'd have to sell Darwin. And then get in probably Bowen for Salah. Is that team strong enough? That's without a hit. I'd probably start Saliba over Archer, let's be honest. I'm a bit torn, as you can see. I can make a decision at some point. I'm going to hop over to the chat then. I can see a lot of you saying hello and dropping questions in already. Make sure you're subscribed. As I said, we're aiming for 30k. Might have to be January now. As I said, we've got Akshat and VJ are in modding. Stephen, another member, is in. Good to see you. Anton has said, we had a hello from Ryan, Football09, Ebbert is in, Anton, Cleveland, Ebbot, Mr. Blanky, Tuaman, Ryan, Declan and Gemma, Chris, Sharad, and Avalio. Anton has already said, a Dingra to Foden or Bernardo Silva or Mubama to Alvarez. I think Alvarez has got a bit more longevity. I don't know. It's really difficult because obviously De Bruyne's still to come back in. That's the bit that I'm finding difficult. How does that affect things? We don't know when Haaland will be back. I do worry a little bit that it won't be as soon as next week. But if Haaland's back and De Bruyne's back, where does that leave Foden and Alvarez? Who's got the most longevity? I think it's Alvarez, but I don't think it's that clean cut. I think both are fine short term, but long term, you're probably wanting to move them on. I think it is a 50-50 call. If we look at predicted points for City players over the next 4 game weeks, Foden is 1.9 points ahead of Alvarez, but that is simply just because he's a midfielder. But if we look generally at players over the next 4, if we look at forwards, Alvarez is 6th, behind the likes of Watkins, Solanke. And if we filter by midfielders, Foden's also 6th. So there's not a lot to separate them. I think marginally Foden. Oh, Evert's in and said it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Evert. Thank you for choosing me to watch too on your birthday morning. Captaincy's so tough this week. If we look at predicted points from AI, it's Son ahead of Salah, Saka, Bowen, Foden, and Watkins actually down in 6th place. No Foden in the top 10. I didn't even include Saka or Bowen in the poll. No Alvarez in the top 10 either. Currently with you guys, it is Salah ahead of Alvarez. I think I am leaning to just getting Gusto this week. I'm not wholly convinced that Gusto's the best defender in that budget price category. I think AI likes Burn, even though the fixtures are awful, and Brighton defenders, even though they've not kept a clean sheet all season. I do worry a little bit that Chelsea sign another left-back in the window. But I guess I can get 3 game weeks out of Gusto, and then he can be on my bench anyway. I feel it's a really difficult week to prep for, by the way. So if you're struggling, know that you're not alone. Question from Declan and Gemma. When Son goes to the Asian Cup, would you sell him for McTominay? Probably not, no. I think there's better options than McTominay. You've seen in those AI predictions. I think Bowen, if you've not got him already, is going to be very popular. Could Eze come into form? Richarlison is kind of the one I'm looking towards. Chris says start Palmer or Elanga. And Palmer's on pens, so it's got to be Palmer for me. Sorry, my mic was going a bit weird. Ryan said Salah the safest pick, but Alvarez the smartest. Interesting take there. And Toonman says debating taking Son out a week early for Foden. Big moves. I've got the tweet deck open, by the way, guys. So any leaks as they come in, we'll have covered. Can't see anything at the moment. Obviously, I started the stream a little bit ago. Predicted City lineup from, I don't know if you can see that, from FPL Gundo. Front 3 of Alvarez, Foden, Bernardo, Kovacic and Rico Lewis behind, Rodri, Akanji, Holding, Vardial, Diaz, Walker at the back. If you go and give my tweet a retweet, that'd be great as well. So, yeah, there we are with those. Let's sum up everything that we know already, though. Sheffield United, Bogle returns, but there's a couple of players banned. McAtee can't face his parent club. Brewster and Norrington Davies return to the squad, although neither ready for a start. No official presser from Brighton yesterday, but they could be without 11 players. Igor and Buonarte were the latest ones, and Dunk suspended. Van de Ven slightly ahead of schedule for Spurs, but it won't be for this week. I think Solanke's a good pick given the lack of options in that Spurs defence again. Lucas Dean is injured. Moreno is going to deputise for a few weeks, but feels like a short-term gap. But I think we saw that Pau Torres is unlikely to make the 11 again. Sam Johnston's still out for Palace. Edouard could be in. Few bits and bobs kicking around with Everton. Tarkowski and Calvert-Lewin didn't train, but are both expected to be okay. And Decore keen to play, but whether he's actually fit to play is a different story. Few updates from Brentford. Jensen fit and available. De Silva back soon. Me out though. Tony will be back from game week 21 if he's still a Brentford player. He-Chan fully fit, but will be off for the Asia Cup after this game. And Neto, probably not a starter. Lavia added to the Chelsea injury list. Shaw and Amrabat presumed to be missing out again for United. Haaland's due back in training next week. So it feels like he's still a bit off. Wonder if he makes the squad for the FA Cup. City's next Premier League game is in the first half of the winter break. And there's still potential for that postponed game for the Club World Cup against Brentford to slot into the schedule in December as well. No firm answer for David Moyes on whether Kudus will be available for that Tuesday night game before heading off to AFCON. This was an interesting one from Eddie Howe on Newcastle defenders, but I know not many will be looking to Newcastle defenders at the minute, given their tough fixtures and their form. I think they could come good, though, because obviously they're not in Europe. And go check out this tweet from FPL Poland, which basically demonstrates when the AFCON players will be due back and those at the Asia Cup. This takes predicted odds of Egypt, South Korea, etc., getting to various rounds of the competition. Matoma are out for the Asia Cup and certainly going to be out for the game this week. And Adingra out long term as well. And that's about it. So we're a bit in the dark on Haaland. I think it is a worry that in Pep's presser, I can't remember if this was before or after the midweek game, he said hopefully he'll be back in January. Obviously no broken bones. There's potential for it to linger on. And in that case, you get a bit more out of Alvarez. I really just need to decide what to do at this point. I wonder if we've got any predicted lineups from Emma Jump the Wave for this game week. Yeah, we've got a few bits coming through. Some of them are from the other week. I'll put the big screen on so you can see these. So Villa predicted lineup: Martinez, Conza Carlos, Moreno, Douglas Luiz, then Donker, McGinn, Longley, Ramsey, Watkins, Diaby potentially. Oh, sorry, but did I say Bailey? I think I might have missed him in there. Spurs predicted lineup with a backline of Vicario, Emerson, Udogie, Davis, Porro, Lo Celso, Sarr, Son, Skip, Johnson, Richarlison. From United, Onana, and then a backline of Varane, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Molino, Ericsson, Fernandes, McTominay. Oh no, sorry. Ericsson, Fernandes, Evans, Rasmus, Garnacho, and Rashford. And then at City, predicted lineup: Edison, Diaz, Vardy, Akanji, Walker, Ake, and potentially Lewis as well. Bernardo, Rodri, Foden, Greenish, Alvarez. And then Newcastle, Dubravka, Trippier share, Botman. Then Livramento, interestingly, 68%. Overburn at 36%. Liverpool away, though. And then Bruno G, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Almiron Gordon, Isaac. I think I've seen a question in the chat about Isaac, so hopefully that's helpful. Although I think it was wrong last week. Brighton predicted lineup: Steele, Stupinan, Hinselwood, Van Heck, Gross, Milner, Gilmore, Lallana, Pedro, Welbeck. Maybe Baleba in there. Arsenal predicted lineup. We've got Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. Probably no surprises in there. And Chelsea, Petrovic, Desai, Silva, Colwell, Gusto, Gallagher, Caicedo, Nkunku, Jackson, Sterling, Palmer. That could be the last one, actually. This is a Liverpool one. And then Liverpool one, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez, Canate, Endo, Soboslai, Jones, Salah, Jota, Darwin. So hopefully that's all useful. I'm going to check that I've not missed any member questions while I've been chatting away. Faxer says Captain Calvert or Debo. I hate either of those options. I'd definitely go with one of the options I've put up in the poll. When do we think Haaland will be back in reality? Because he's not going to be involved in this game. Does he make the squad for the FA Cup? Pep said late next week. So I think if he's back in training next Thursday, Friday, is he even going to be in the squad for the Cup? And then, if he's not even in the squad for the Cup, you're not going to bring him back for Newcastle. But then if you see snuck in that postponed fixture to be rearranged, you can buy tickets for that. I know there's not a date for it yet. Well, they're obviously expecting it to slot in at some point in that window of the winter break, which is interesting. Can't remember what Ben Crellin's latest predictions on this were. Because obviously neither side are in the League Cup semis, so it could slot in maybe in this window towards the end of the winter break. Before game week 22. We'll see, I guess. But, you know, if you're going to get 3 game weeks out of Alvarez, that's tempting. I just don't know. Shall I put it to a poll? Shall I just end the captain poll for now? I can maybe put another one up in a bit. And put which transfer should I make this week? Oh, I need to do it in a poll. So it's Lascelles to Gusto. Or Darwin to Alvarez. So let me know what you think. Sharad has said who to bench: Gabriel v Fulham or Walker v Sheffield United. I think it's got to be Gabriel v Fulham. Isn't it Fulham that Gabriel always scores against? Oh no, that's Gabriel Jesus. That's not going to help me. Yeah, 3 goals in 4 games against Fulham. Scored in both away games, interestingly. Ryan says, Watkins has disappointed me too much whenever I captain him, taking no risks. Best to go either Salah or Alvarez. Yeah, I agree with you there. Twerman says Salah dropped by 0.3 during the last AFCON. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about losing value. Came back in awful form as well. Ryan says Richarlison or Foden this game week. Think short term Foden, but longer term Richarlison. Foden v Alvarez for captaincy. You literally got to coin toss that one. Foden's got the better kind of short term form. Akash, bench one of Saka, João Pedro or Palmer. They're all on pens, so I don't like benching any of them. Maybe João Pedro. Stephen's saying, what about a Stupinan? Were you buying him for his attacking returns? Because you're not going to get clean sheets out of him. I just feel like he's a little bit expensive. I don't think I'd buy him this week for West Ham away. Wolves at home in 21. Luton away in 22. I think you give it a week. So obviously he's got the cup as well. Get a few more minutes under his belt. Checkmate, I have 1 free transfer. Should I roll to sell both Salah on next week or get Alvarez in for Mubama this week? I think Alvarez in for Mubama sounds good. But it's easier with 2 frees if you've only got 1. I feel like 2 frees is going to be so important for next week. I say Salah's last game before AFCON at home is going to kill it, probably. Ivo says you can play formations other than 3-5-2. Yeah, no. 6 screens in 7 weeks, mainly with a 4-4-2 throw in for fun. Kevin says, hello from Mauritius Island. Sounds like the dream, Kevin. Akshat's on Son Captain this week. Like it. Levi is on the wild card. Any pointers? Yeah, I always like to start off with the AI wildcard team. And I'd definitely go Trent, Porro and an Arsenal defender. Watkins, Alvarez, Solanke feels like a strong front 3. I wouldn't bench Solanke this week. I would, instead of having a strong bench, I would leave funds in the bank to go from Alvarez to Haaland. Guess 7 million. And then, yeah, I like that midfield. Saka, Bowen, Palmer, Richarlison, Gordon. It's basically got everyone that you'd need in there. Whether you went with a Foden instead. VJ said, make sure you're hitting the like button. We're not at 100 likes yet. We need to do better, really. Sub counters going up. We're still 373 off, though. There's nearly 200 of you in now, which is fab. So thank you for joining me. Ivo says, I'm captaining Son and have Solanke. Decent chance for a high-scoring game from both sides. Yeah, got to agree there. Abby, should I play Salah and Solanke or take a hint and get Trent and Bowen? Salah and Solanke. Keep it simple. Bonnie says thoughts on Johnson. I think I prefer Richarlison because he's playing central. Lucas says start Gabriel or Porro. Got to be Porro for me for his attacking threat, despite Gabriel having the form against Fulham. Salah captain for me, but the temptation of a punt on one of the City guys is high. Taylor says, Gusto been on my bench since game week 2. Took a punt to start in this last game week. That assist was magical. I love it. Dread is in. You good to see, mate. I'm capping Solanke. Let's go. Nice call. VJ says, please subscribe to Holly's award-winning channel if you haven't already. Thank you, mate. Akshat, he's quite firm with his captain Son. Checkmate, best replacements for Salah Son next week. Got to be Bowen and who else? Foden, Richarlison. This is assuming you've already got Gordon, Palmer, Saka. Ivo said it's only the Haaland owners struggling. I do feel sorry for those that held Haaland. Mark, thinking of going Salah to KDB to retain value if he is confirmed fit. Thoughts? Could work out. I feel like he's going to be very carefully managed after what happened at the start of the season now. Definitely keep Salah and Son this week, though. Lucas, I'm pretty sure you've asked that one already. Please don't spam the chat, guys, else you'll get put in timeout, because I really want to get all your questions answered, but I need your help by not spamming. AN says Palmer or Elanga or Neto. Palmer. Akash, Captain Alvarez. Keith says, is Pau Torres going to play? No, he's a big doubt. I don't think he will. Let's just check the Ben's predicted lineups on the hub. Yes, it's very little chance. Unlikely to make the 11. He's not 100%. It's not available for him to play 90. Ivan, Dubravka, Gordon Gay and Darwin on the bench. Thoughts on bench boost? Yeah, and it's a consideration. I think Gordon and Darwin are the two that you'd expect maybe some points from this week. There's probably going to be better opportunities later in the season, but if you feel like you've walked into a bench boost this week and your gut says go for it, then good luck. Skakek, play Solanke or Palmer? I want to play them both. You need to find someone else to bench. Remy says his Kuda's available. We don't actually know. David Moyes didn't know. It's in a predicted lineup. You would think he'd be allowed to play this fixture. I think that was how the schedule was designed. Gold Money says I've removed Salah and Son from a wildcard draft. Wise decision. Yeah, I think you could go with one. But you certainly don't want both. But if it allows you to go heavy on City, it doesn't matter. Damn, start Nunes or Gusto? Gotta be Nunes, I think. Football edits, Watkins captain. Yeah, it's his birthday today. He'll be up for it. Definitely just lost my place in the chat. This is interesting from Toonham. Wilder has managed v City 4 times and not gotten battered. 2 games, 2-0. 2 games, 1-0. Yeah, they put up a good fight at home back in game week 3. I always find this quite interesting, by the way, guys. So this round of fixtures for game week 20 is a carbon copy of the game week 3 fixtures. Gusto, Udogie, Bowen, Sterling, Darwin, all in the dream team. Chelsea beat Luton 3-0. Brace from Sterling. Jackson's debut goal. 2 assists from Gusto. Don't think we're going to see a repeat of those goal scorers from Spurs this week. Arsenal Fulham was 2-2. Goals from Saka. Palace Brentford was 1-1. Wolves beat Everton. United just beat Forest. It was 2-0 behind and went on to win 3-2. Bowen on the score sheet for West Ham and an assist as well against Brighton. Villa beat Burnley 3-1. That was the game that Cash got his brace. Watkins with an assist. Diaby scoring heavily as well. City beat Sheffield United 2-1 with a goal from Haaland and the missed pen. Remember that one? Foden also on with an assist. And Liverpool beat Newcastle 2-1. That was the game where Van Dijk got sent off early on. Trent was inside out for half the game with Gordon, who did score. Darwin came on for a late brace. I mean, if we go on what happened in the reverse fixture, I think the transfer for me is going to be Gusto. Lascelles to Gusto. I think it's the move I'm going to make, to be fair, guys. Jack says, do you know if Cole will start? Yeah, it looks like he probably will. That's what most of the predictions suggest. Will Grealish start? Yeah, he should do. Nkunku and Palmer. We're just gone from Chelsea. Ronald says Haaland back for the Newcastle game. Yeah, I imagine. Ramadan. Should I get a City asset for a -4? Or roll the transferred roll? Roll the transfer for now. Let's have a look at the tweet deck. See what's going on. We've still got an hour and 20 minutes till the deadline. Bit of clickbait from the Liverpool Echo. So first game that is set to miss is the FA Cup game. Obviously not helped by the fact that Liverpool have made the League Cup semis. Remember, Chelsea's the early kick-off. Some quotes from Levi Colwill. Maurizio knows I'm a centre-back, but he knows it's going to help me when I go there. I understand what the fullback wants, and it'll make a big difference when I'm older. Yeah, there's not any leaks yet. It's still early, though. We'll keep an eye on it, obviously. I've got everything open as well, like if we get any leaks via WhatsApp or Discord, if I can get a few leaks on there, and we're all covered. Fax is worrying what to do with all the cash when all these players are out. I don't think it matters. Just keep it in your bank. Let's put my team back up then. Jack says, would you captain Alvarez if you had him? Yeah, I'd be tempted to. I think it's more difficult for me because I feel like if I was in a situation where I did bring in Alvarez, I feel like I had to captain him. But then I think if I had both in my team, I think I'd still go Salah. If I hadn't, it's always that psychology. If you bring in a player who's a good captain pick, you always tend to double down on that move by giving him the armband. Liben saying, thinking to bench Saka. He did score in a reverse fixture. I think you would regret it. He's the highest owned player in the game as well. Look at Haaland's ownership, down to 54.4%. Captain Bowen is an option. You've seen start Dallo or Zinchenko. Zinchenko, I think. The gaffer, Bowen or Foden to bring in? I think Bowen. Glyn, the best City player to go for this week? It's between Foden and Alvarez, but it just depends how your team's set up. Abod has Foden. Should I go Semenya to JP? Feels a bit sideways. Dr. Waleed, I don't own Trent. Who to bench, Gomez or Gusto? Gomez. Brian, Alvarez. As only a few days ago you preferred Colwill over Gusto when asked. I know, I feel like it was a bit knee-jerk. I do think I still prefer Colwill over Gusto. It's just a case of Gusto's that little bit cheaper. I'm buying him as a bench option. And I know that if money might be tight at some point. LFC really struggling for captaincy. I think those with the home games are the ones to go for. The midfielders are easier to score heavily with than the forwards. Salah has the form and the fixture, to be fair, because Newcastle defensively are struggling. Checkmate said start 2 from Konza, Saliba, Gordon. I think you could bench Saliba. Ivo says Darwin on pens when Salah ain't there. 12 out of 12 in his career. Is that true? I need to look this up. Why is that not clicking? Here we go. 56 minutes. Who else could take pens for Liverpool? Could be right, to be fair. Yeah, I think he's going to stay. Biker, Neto to Raya for a -4. Don't like taking a hit, particularly for a goalkeeper. I'm struggling with this cold again. Dan, Trippier or Gordon first sub? Gordon. This will be my last video for a while, actually, because the next deadline isn't until it's 2 weeks' time. Obviously, you can see. Did I get Ben's spreadsheet? But there's a lot of football in the middle. How have I lost Ben's spreadsheet again already? I swear I opened it. It's on here. So we've got this game weekends on Tuesday. Then we've got FA Cup action next weekend, followed by the League Cup semi-finals. The fixture schedule is quite a lot more spread out than it has been in the past, to be fair. Femi says, held Haaland because I missed the deadline at work. Now I'm stuck with him. Yeah, it feels a bit like you've made your bed. You've got to just lie in it now. Just going to check what was going on the tweet deck. It's all quite quiet at the moment, to be fair. But at least it gives me some more time to answer your questions. Frederick made 10 changes on wildcard. I think that's fine. I think given kind of where we are with different bits and bobs in terms of blanks coming up and player availability, I think it's, absolutely fine to be kind of making that many moves on a wild card. JR says start Darwin over Douglas Luiz. Yep, I think that's fine. I don't know. It's just Douglas Luiz on pens. It's really difficult to bench a player who's on penalties. I always find that. So you've just got to factor that into your thinking, to be fair. Odzema says, is Ake worth it? I think that, yeah, I think he's fine, to be fair. Gamer says, should I start Souček or Palmer for a 3-4-3? I would go with Palmer because he's on pens. Pau Torres is not expected to be playing Unity. Suleiman, would you consider buying Raul Jimenez? Looked like he turned a corner before his red card and is only 4.9. Yeah, potentially. He could be one to look at. Obviously, Fulham's form has seen a bit of a downturn. I don't know if he's the one to buy. Down as Raul, isn't he? I don't know if he's one to buy this week. But then after that, certainly Chelsea, Everton, Burnley, Bournemouth is a nice run of fixtures. It was 3 wins in 5 and 4 goals in 5 before the red card. 5.2 million, so a bit more than you mentioned, but, you know, could be an Archer replacement. Archer's been doing all right, though, to be fair. Goal and an assist in his last 2. Dr. Waleed, which goalkeeper to start, Neto or Areola? I think you've got back Areola now. Debenish with a wild card squad. Defence looks fine. Yeah, midfield looks fine. Yeah, you're all good. Just kept the funds for Haaland, that's fine. Ivo, like we're getting clean sheets from Arsenal. Best defensive side in the league. Yeah, it's been really frustrating. I got Saliba a few weeks ago. I think I've only had 1 clean sheet out of him. But it's not like other defences that you kind of aim to invest in an FPL have been any more reliable, though, so. Abdurazak, start Palmer or Eze? Palmer. Isle of Unity, will Pau Torres start? No. Zuber, I've Gabriel, Saliba, Porro, Trent. If I get in Alvarez, who do I bench? Probably Saliba. Captain Son is fine, Shamil. My favourite captain pick today is Salah. Definitely lost my place in the chat again. Jack, if you get Alvarez, will you captain him? Yeah. Gold money, gone without Salah and Son on wildcard. Yeah, that's fine. Strix, thinking about benching Zinchenko for Mikolenko. Yeah, I think that's fine. Shaz, on wildcard, which goalkeeper, Raya or Neto? Raya. Unless you've got an Arsenal defender, in which case I think it'd be too much. Suraj, who's captain between Watkins, Salah, Son or Foden? Salah. Interesting question from Rohit. Is there a way to see a particular person's team on FPL? You can't see someone's move till the games have updated. So you can only go by what they did last week. So if my husband's actually beaten me this season. I can see his team from last week. There used to be something. The team value and things like that used to be live. Now it reverts back to at the last deadline. So yeah, you can only see their team from last week until the game updates. How this team is beating me, I don't know. I think he played his wild card at some point and brought in his wild card team was bizarre. He brought in Calvert-Lewin. When did he buy Solanke? I think he said he's had Solanke since game week 7. Kept him on wild card. So I feel like Solanke's been keeping him afloat, but it's going to be pretty embarrassing if he beats me this season. Let's check his season history. Haven't played the last few years. Played 4 years in a row. 1 decent finish. I think he beat me that year as well, 2017-18. I don't think I had a very good season. We're only half the way through the season now. He's not that far ahead of me. 20 points, 21 points. Stretford said a few Salah blanks means he's going with Palmer captain. Sujan, do you think Alex Moreno will play? Yeah, short term. Bonnie wanted to know the best captain picks of Salah, Son and Watkins. Salah for me. I'd go Salah, Watkins, Son in that order. James, do you think Sheffield would do a 9-man defence play all game? Probably. The thing that you need from City is an early goal. That unlocks it. Because Sheffield United away from home are just going to defend. It just depends how long they can do it for. Palmer or Gordon? I'd go Palmer. Zinchenko, keep or sell to Gusto? I think I'd keep unless you've got 2 frees. I think Gordon will come good. I think he's cheap enough that you don't need to start him in the difficult fixtures. But remember Newcastle out of Europe now. Gordon's been phenomenal. 12 attacking returns in 17 starts. We can't really expect a lot more from him at his price. Top Boy United. Ideally Lascelles to Trent or Gusto. But now I have Kudos going to AFCON with Salah and Son out next week. 2 free transfers, but have 3 holes with Haaland back. Yeah, that's a difficult one to handle, to be fair. Nick with a benching headache, Gordon or Palmer? I think you can bench Gordon. Fact says Newcastle just got battered. Liverpool ain't having that one. If they win, it definitely ain't a transition goal. Raj says thoughts on a Stupinan. If you fancy the punt, go for it, but I'd give it another week. Kenya says, is Haaland a must sell? How much will his price drop further? I think you've made your bed with keeping Haaland. I think you've got to go with it. Skalak, should I play Solanke for Saka? I wouldn't bench Saka. I think you've got to play them both. VJ, nice little super chat. Scones or scones? Scones for me. I don't know if that's a northern thing, but yeah. Are you scones or scones? There's an E in it. It's got to be scones. Mijer, Palmer or Watkins for captain? Watkins. Zuo, hey Holly, loving the content. Who would you bench? Richarlison, Solanke or Darwin? I think potentially Richarlison. Think so. That's what you've got to go. Ronald said Wolves Pride lineup. Yeah, it's a difficult one to call that. Biran, any word on Urian Timber coming back for Arsenal? No, I've not heard anything on that. Muffin says 3 out of Walker, Saliba, Porro or Trent. I think in that case you could probably you've got to Sorry, guys, I don't quite know what happened there with my PC. Hopefully you can see me and hear me again now. I don't know what went on with it. It's obviously on its New Year holidays. What is going on? Anyway, we're sorted. Beardy is in. Good to see you. Tony agreeing with the pronunciation of scones. Oh dear. Luckily, I've not lost my place in the chat, which is one good thing. I think I was on Muffy Meow's question when it all went wrong. He was asking 3 out of Walker, Saliba, Porro or Trent. It's got to be Trent and Porro. I like Walker this week, but Saliba long term. Aaron's wondering why none of the content creators are on Salah Haaland captain. He's not going to play. Gainer, still got cash. Should I move out for Konza? Other defenders are Gabriel, Porro, Taylor and Colwell. 1 free transfer. I think with 1 free transfer, it's a roll this week. Chumashanyem. Kulu to Foden and cap him, potentially. Gavin looking at Alvarez captain, but thinking to punt on Bowen for the higher ceiling. Yeah, I think I prefer the Salah, Son, Watkins, to be fair. Just checking that we've not had any leaks through. We've got 1 hour until the deadline. And just let me open the tweet deck if it's going to load for me. Come on, PC. You have to give it a little cuddle or something. I think it's been a fair bit of time since I was on the tweet deck. But I don't think we've missed anything. Official FPL tweeting the 1 hour warning. I think we're clear at the moment, to be fair, guys. I'll keep a close eye on it now, though, because we are getting closer to this deadline. And I've got the breaking news tab ready. If it's going to work for me. So hopefully if there is anything, then I can update it in that little box. Damn, should I start Nunes or Gusto? Nunes for me. Shubba with a non-FPL question. Pizza Hut or Domino's? Probably Pizza Hut, but where I live, you cannot get Pizza Hut delivery very easily. So it's always Domino's. Domino's always feels like it works out cheaper as well. Planning a New Year's Eve takeaway tomorrow, to be fair. Captain Salah for me today. I think I'm pretty happy with doing Lascelles to Gusto with 1 of my transfer. Buttrell is in, same morning all. Good to see you. Abridrick, Eze or Palmer? Palmer just. Pau Torres probably won't start. Mark on wildcard should have been in Saka or Son. We'll keep 3 million in the bank for Haaland. Have Odegaard. Yeah, go Son then. Oh, Aaron not captaining Watkins. I do fancy it since it's his birthday. It's just that midfielders accumulate points more quickly. Marco, start Porro or Trent? I think it's got to be Trent. Sipaz's going to rage sell Saka if he doesn't return. Yeah. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Let's have a look what's going on then on the tweet deck. See if there's any nuggets of information. It's Luton's the early game, so that's certainly going to help us in terms of getting some leaks. Should help with our preparation. I'm hopeful that we will get news. It's just whether it's anything useful. It's difficult. I don't feel like Chelsea's a team that we generally do get leaks from, but it would be helpful to have some idea on who's, going to start, who's not going to start. I don't know if there's anything there, though, at the moment. Yogesh on a wild card. I think that looks solid. Dr. Ali takes some antihistamine for alcohol. I need to do something. To be fair, I think he can get away with not talking for about 10 days once I finish today. Pashang, is Kudus going to play this last one? We don't know. I think we can presume he does, but there is a chance that he doesn't. David Moyes wasn't sure. Let's put it that way. Captain Alvarez, penalties, free kicks against Sheffield United. Yeah, that's true, but how long do they last with De Bruyne on his way back? James, is it worth Solanke to Alvarez with one free transfer or roll? I think I'd just keep Solanke. I like his fixture. Spurs are struggling defensively. Dr. Waleed, is it safe to bench Gusto for Gabriel, Gomez and Konsa? I think I'd play him over Gomez. The gaffer, Bowen or Foden this week? Foden this week, but Bowen long term. It's not an easy one, that one. Omwara, Captain Son or Alvarez? I think I prefer Alvarez of those two. I think I'm set on not buying Alvarez. Paulo, sell Saka's Son to bring Bowen in on wild card. I think it's got to be for Son. I think when Salah and Son aren't in the frame, I think you're going to want Saka. Harmony, Arsenal or Chelsea defender, i.e. starts Zinchenko or Gusto. I'd start Gusto. Bonnie, who to bench, Solanke or Johnson and Dallo or Gusto? Johnson and Dallo. Nunes to Alvarez for a hit. No, I wouldn't do that. Predictions for double game weeks and blanks. Have my wild card. Yeah, well, we know that we've got 2 games to rearrange. Luton, Bournemouth and Brentford, Man City. So I think it makes sense to have Solanke, for example. And then we know that we've got... Let me find it from Ben. This is it, look. The League Cup final clashes with game week 26. So we've still got Chelsea, Liverpool and Fulham involved. So Chelsea Spurs would become postponed in 26 if they progressed. Man United Fulham would be postponed if Fulham would progress. And Liverpool Luton would be postponed if Liverpool progressed. But the rearranged fixtures for those could come earlier rather than later. So it doesn't make it that easy to prep for. Shaz said hold on Kunku or sell to get Watkins. I think if you bought him, you've got to hold him now. Amro, bench Gabriel or Colwell? I would bench Gabriel. Pau Torres, I think you've just got to bench him this week. Manjit, in your dilemma, I would bench Zinchenko. So Rohit's asking how you see any team through the game week. Well, you need to be on the points tab. And then in the URL at the top, you need to replace the team ID. Best budget forward. I feel like you can't call Solanke a budget forward now, can you? I'm guessing you mean on wildcard and you've got like an Archer. You're wondering about Jimenez, for example. Yes, Jimenez followed by Archer. João Pedro in there as well. Calvert-Lewin. I don't mind João Pedro at the moment. Practical growth. Should I do Pau Torres to Moreno? 1 free transfer, no bench, no. I don't like Moreno as a replacement. That's the issue. Vishal, Trippier, Gordon and Cash. Which two should be in the 11 and who to bench? Cash on the bench. Amro says bench Gabriel or Colwell. Yeah, Gabriel, I think. I'd start Gusto over Saliba. Right, let's have a check on the tweet deck. See what's going on. We're up to 173 watchers. Make sure you're subscribed as well. It's all a bit quiet still at the moment. Hopefully, there's still time. We've still got 50 minutes to get some more news. Ivo says Luton away, not an easy team at the moment, yeah. Nicky, stop Palmer or Bailey? Palmer. Vishal. Cash bench. Paolo's asking about 4th, 5th defenders on wildcard. Gusto. Burn. Just check I've not missed any member questions. David, is it good to see you? Something about fish and chips. We'll get there. Chris did kudos to Richarlison. No, that's fine, Chris. Joanna, Gabriel or Saliba, Dallo or Gusto? Probably Gabriel and Gusto. Burn. I need to remember to make my transfer. Be annoyed if I forget. Sean, Salah or Alvarez captain? Maybe Salah. VJ says, is it true you can get fish and chips for £3 in Grimsby? I don't know. I've not bought fish and chips lately. You could definitely get it depends where you go, but you could definitely get sausage and chips for £3. Don't know about fish and chips though. I'll search. It's a good fish and chips though. Home of fish and chips. Jan says his Uncle Kunku going to start, yeah. Jackson's off to AFCON as well. I love kebab. Start Gusto over Saliba, yeah. Dawson, -4 for Archer to Alvarez and Trippier to Gusto or roll. Paolo wondering whether to start Areola or Raya. I would start Areola, I think. Didn't think I'd be saying that a few weeks ago. Bench Solanke or Saka? Solanke just. Captain Saka or Son? Gotta be Son. Marco, is Dubravka, Porro, Gordon, Colwell bench boost worthy? Yeah, I think so. Just about. Mohammed says Salah or Foden. I think it's a close call, but I think Salah. Kahongan, Captain Saka or Son. Best Man City defender to transfer in. It's always a risk with Pep, isn't it? Maybe Ake. Abidaz, Salah VR, Vares on captaincy. I'm leaning towards Salah. Yeah, I've done a wildcard team, Colin. This is a good basis, though, on the Hub My Team tool. David says, who do I sell Kudos for? Bowen? Guessing you don't own him. Gareth, do I bench Saka or Richarlison and playing Son? Richarlison. Bradley. It won't be to Hwang to bench Trippier or roll. Don't buy Hwang, he's off to the Asia Cup. Saka or Palmer? Saka. Duffman says, are you doing the move from Lascelles to Gusto? I am. Need to remember to do it. Abadaz, Salah v Alvarez on captaincy. Salah for me, just. Shall we compare them? It's quite a nice little tool. So Salah's in blue, Alvarez is red. You can see, other than in crosses, Salah's superior. Let's just have a look to see if there's any leaks anywhere. Give everything a little refresh. I think we're clear at the moment. Lots of people on Alvarez captain, looks like. I think we're okay for now, though, with leaks. Buitrol, sell Saka for Foden or Kuna for Alvarez or roll? I think I'd just roll. Asro, bench one of Gordon, Solanke or Saka? Gordon, I think, of those three. Should I bench boost Dubravka, Dallo, Gusto and Bailey or wait for 12 or more players to double? That looks like quite a strong bench boost. I think I'd be tempted. When to sell Kudos? I think he probably will start this week. But there's a chance he doesn't. So make sure you've got a strong first sub. Who to get for Salah? Just keep him this week. Abra, I would bench Richarlison. Mohamed, I would bench Garnacho. Simon, I would go with Palmer. Arabra, who's captain between Alvarez and Son? Alvarez. No breaking news as yet. I think I'm caught up with the chat. Laurie, bench Schwager or Nkunku? Nkunku? Oh, no, maybe Hwang. Salah replacement, keep him. Ayman, start Konsa or Gabriel? Konsa. Please just ask your question once. I have pretty much caught up with the chat. Simon, double Spurs defence or Gabriel with you, Doggy or Porro? Don't double Spurs defence. Play Porro though. Vice captain Palmer or Son? Son. Thoughts on Foden captain this week over Salah? I don't love it. Vivan, captain Son or Alvarez? I think Alvarez is probably my number 2 captain pick now for this week after Salah. Mohamed says that we're ignoring Watkins. Yeah, probably, especially with it being his birthday. Seaman, -4 for Nunes to Alvarez, worth it? I don't think so, not for a hit. Matt says who will feed Son with balls while Kulu is out. Whereas Richarlison central, but yeah, it's not going to help. I don't know what to expect from Spurs when Son disappears as well. Mohamed is going Trent captain. Love it. KG wondering on Trent captain. I hate captaining defenders in FPL. Trump boy is in. Big fan from India. Good to see you. Thank you for joining this morning. Vian, I would go Alvarez captain over Son. I don't love Foden captain. Suraj, differential captain Trent. There's a few of you around. Seaman, is Trent a must-have? Yeah, pretty much. Alexis McAllister could be back soon, though. But then I guess he could play higher if Salah's off to AFCON. Be interested to see what happens on that right side with Trent, with Salah gone. We'll have to see what happens. We've got just under 40 minutes to the deadline. I'm not seeing any leaks yet. So whether we get any or not, I do not know. We've got to hope. Let's have a look on a tweet deck, see what's going on. Oh, Lewis Smiley looks so young. Maybe it's just me getting old. Yeah, I think we're clear at the minute, to be fair. Be nice to get something in pre-deadline now. Ayman says start Konza or Gabriel. I'd start Konza. Sean looking at Watkins or Alvarez for captain. Probably Alvarez. Mode with a strong bench, looking for one to bench. That's really tough. Maybe you can get away with benching Saka in that case. More Bernardo. Don't know. K-Dog, would you sell Richarlison for Foden? No. Mo, if you've got one free transfer, I'd roll it. Gainer, would you start cash this week? No. Sam says, thanks for all the content over the Christmas period. Trying to tune in. Yeah, to be fair, it has been a bit of a struggle maintaining the content over Christmas. But I've done my best. But I'm glad that it's been appreciated. VJ said 100% of liked. There's 200 of you in. We're at 199 likes. Love it. Ryan on wildcard. Alvarez, Captain, Watkins, Vice. Jesus in there. I'd have Solanke. And I'd have Porro as well, to be fair. Sarnik, Simicast Augusto or Darwin Solanke to Alvarez? Simicast Augusto. TPS player rolling, good decision. I would roll this week if you've only got one. Captain Son, Palmer, Saka, Salah, Solanke or Watkins? Salah. Konza or Porro? Porro. Munal, selling Gordon for Hee-Chan. Don't do it, it's off to the Asia Cup. Hisham, another member, good to see you. Who do you think I should bench between Gabriel Saliba and Tavernier? I think I'd bench Saliba. Is Diaz still out? Yes, I think potentially. Let's have a look at the predicted lineups. Did we have an update on Diaz? I think it's same squad, wasn't it? Yeah, still flagged. KG, don't forget to make your transfer. Yeah, shall I just do it? It's committing though, isn't it? Munal, is Watkins a good captain choice? Everyone's going for Alvarez. Yeah. He still is in his own right. VJ said Newcastle haven't conceded a goal to a right winger this season. Is that true? Wow. Travels with Gigi. Any recommendations on a Romero replacement under 6? Porro? Arsenal defender. Saka or Watkins? Watkins this week. Boaz, bench 2. Solanke, Gordon, Louise. Gordon. FPL Josh, tempted with Son captain, but might be Garnacho or Sterling. Gotta be Son. The man, the myth, the legend, thoughts on Tony back in January. Yeah, the only difficulty is that he has been heavily linked to a move away from Brentford. That's the next pain to navigate in FPL. Is the transfer window. Ben, should I start Tavernier or Gordon? Think Gordon. Mitchell over you doggy this week, yeah? VJ says as everyone's subbed, make sure that you are. Remember we go for the 30k. Skag, thinking of starting Solanke for Saka. Yeah, I think you could probably get away with it this week. Track and play Kuna or Richarlison. Captain and Kunku. Wouldn't do that. Richarlison. Alchester, would you sell Trippier for Trent this week? I think if you've got 2 frees and no other issues, you could do it. Gordon to Bowen. I'm not doing it personally, but if you've got 2 frees and you fancy it. Ashley wanting a captain poll. Let's get it live again. It's going to be the same options. I would just put who are you giving to captain? It's absolutely chucking it down with rain here. So Salah got Newcastle, Son v Bournemouth. If your captain option isn't here, then you're obviously on the wrong one. Alvarez and Watkins. Hopefully I've got the fixtures right. Kesh Studios in with a super chat, thank you. Foden and Grealish for Saka and Gordon. I wouldn't do that. I think if you could go Gordon to Foden, that's fine. But I would keep Saka. Especially when you've got Salah and potentially Son-shaped holes in your team coming up. I don't think... I'm a bit concerned that we're not going to get any leaks today. Can't see anything coming through. Got half an hour till the deadline. Guess it's still early. Yeah, nothing at the minute. Do I make my transfer yet or not? Salah ahead in the captain poll, to be fair. Yeah, VJ said Arsenal are after Tony. Imran sells Saliba or Trippier for Trent Trippier. Yoma, I would bench Garnacho. Biko, I would go Areola. I would start Petrovic over Areola. Menji, is Trent worth buying with Salah leaving for AFCON? It's a difficult one. If you're concerned, then don't do it. Maybe we've had the peak Trent. David's gone kudos to Bowen, nice move. Josh had gone Nacho captain into the top 50k. Fair play. Stuart, would you sell Chan and Nkunku to Bowen and Alvarez for a -4? No, just do one for free. Salah captain the one for me this week. Adel, start one of Cash or Gordon or get Alvarez for free. I think I'd get Alvarez for free. Carmax, Captain Watkins, any suggestions? Yeah, good pick. Manje, should I bench on Nkunku or Gordon? Gordon. Imran looking at Alvarez in for Darwin or Trip Saliba to Trent. I like Trent, but I wouldn't take a -4, Kristen. Tony, Salah feels like the right choice for safety. My gut is saying Alvarez. Do you go with your gut? I'm going to go Salah. Right. Are we going to get any leaks? FPL Tony says Pep didn't lie, no Haaland. Which we kind of knew, didn't we? So that's confirmed now on X. Do we get any other news? If FPL Tony's got the squad. Obviously City play at 3. So a bit longer to wait. I wouldn't sell Solanke for Alvarez. Freddie wondering who to captain. Salah leading the poll. Watkins also a good shout, as is Alvarez and Son. Moa says, is Kudus playing or is he off to AFCON? We don't know. I think he will play. But it's not nailed on. Mohamed, I would bench Konza. Divine, get Alvarez or Foden for Gordon. Alvarez. Christian, start one Colwell, Konza or Gabriel. Konza. Oh dear, are we going to get anything else from City. We're obviously not. There's no Chelsea leaks, is there? When's the last time Chelsea played early kickoff? I can't remember whether they are a side we get leaks from. Definitely in the reverse fixtures in game week 3, they were the early kickoff. Yeah, there, look. Did we get any leaks then? I can't remember. I don't think we're going to get anything. Should we give it another 5 minutes before making moves? 10 minutes? VJ says, why not subscribe? It costs nothing. Yeah, help me out, guys. Freddie says, what's my planned transfer this week? I think I'm doing Lascelles to Gusto because I got 2 frees. I could also do Darwin to Alvarez, but I'm not going to. Moaz is afraid of Alvarez. Yeah, I know that feeling. FPL Shorts. Now, fair play to FPL Shorts. He came in last week and said that Chris Wood was going to get a hat-trick for Forest against Newcastle, and fair play. Prediction was spot on. I did think of you when Wood kept scoring. Fancy Elanga to score today against his old team. Yeah, why not? Liverpool, what do you think of João Pedro? Yeah, I think he's a good pick. He's getting the minutes with all the injuries. He's on pens. I just don't trust Brighton. They're so much weaker with all these injuries. That's the only thing. It's still a busy schedule as well for them. At some point, I need to lock in my transfer. I don't quite really know what I'm waiting for, to be fair. Just need to get it done, really. Could still go Alvarez. Is it the hype, though? Is the hype getting to me? I feel like the hype's got to me with Gusto, to be fair. It's all quiet on the tweet deck, though. 24 minutes to deadline. Will says, share to Estupinen for a -4, no bench defenders. No. Can I sell Gordon for Fowen if you want to? Cole Palmer red today. That's a bold prediction. Owen says, in FPL, if there was a chip that would let you put the captain on 2 players, but the top score counted, what would be the optimal game week to play it? Single, double, or triple? Well, it's very rare we get a triple, but yeah, probably a double still. I've been burned so much by captaincy and triple captaincy in double game weeks with players going off injured. I think it'd be like a bit of insurance, especially if you had like, I don't know, City had a double and you could put the armband on Haaland and Alvarez or something like that. I'm thinking of the days at Liverpool where you could go Salah and Mane, you could go Salah and Trent. Defenders do quite well in double game weeks sometimes. And goalkeepers, to be fair. Peter, do I bench Douglas Luiz or Palmer and start Solanke? My front 3 are Watkins and Jesus. I think you've got to start Solanke. Oh, what do I do then? I feel like I'm still in the market for getting Alvarez. I mean selling Darwin though. I think we could do okay while Salah's at AFCON. And at the end of the day, I'm very likely to replace Alvarez with Haaland when Haaland's back. It's just when is Haaland back? De Bruyne's coming back. I think I'm just going to do the defensive move. I think I'm just going to do it now. I've got 20 minutes to the deadline. We're done. I'm going to play Gusto. I'm going to bench Saliba. Captain Salah. Vice. Son. So that is me locked. We've got 20 minutes to the deadline. So I've got enough time if we do get any leaks to update you with any. But I will focus on your questions as well. VJ, is it last chance for wildcard today? Yeah, that first one. If you've not used it, you lose it. Finn says, worried Sheffield United may just part the bus. Yeah, City need an early goal, let's be honest. Powell, just subscribed first time on chat. Thank you. Gordon took a price drop. Foden rose. Made a 0.2 loss. If I went from Gordon to Foden, would you do it? Yeah, still do it. It's gone now. No City players, though. Boaz, Pickford or Onana? Pickford. Hugo, Darwin or Sterling? Oh, probably Sterling. Yeah, Salah captain is winning the captaincy race by quite a margin. My team is now locked. We've got 20 minutes until the deadline. Gusto against Luton looks kind of risky. Nah. I like it. I fancy it. That's why I made the move. Bring Alvarez in for a hit. I wouldn't do that, no. It's a shame there's no leaks. Praises fancy Watkins to get a hat-trick for a birthday treat. Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it? Mohammed, who to get for Salah for AFCON? Well, I'm looking at Bowen, Richarlison, maybe Foden. I guess now I've made this move. I can see where I am. I may keep Son. Lose Salah for Bowen. Bring Haaland in for Darwin if he's fit. And maybe go 4-4-2 for a bit. I may need to replace Livramento soon as well. I've got the options there. A 2 free transfer is going to be pretty crucial. Adam wants to know whether Decore's travelled. Haven't seen anything. Fineza, thoughts on Pedro Neto? I don't really like investing in players that have just come back from a long-term injury. I don't think that's wise, to be fair. We are 15 minutes out for this deadline now, guys. Just making sure I've got all the tabs open so I don't miss anything important. Hugo, very poor backline with Leno Dubravka in goal. And Trent, Porro, Dawson, Cher, Zuma in defence. I think that's okay. I wouldn't take a hit. Senor, Gordon to Foden for free. If you've got 2 frees, no other issues, it could work. But I'd only do it if you've got 2 frees. I think the luxury moves are a lot easier with 2 frees. But also think about how your team's going to look in a few weeks' time. Particularly with Son and Salah off to the Asia Cup and the African Cup of Nations. Do I think Palmer and Nkunku will start? Yeah, we've not had any leaks on the 11, which is a shame. I'm keeping an eye out, though. Ahmed, start Semenyo or Elanga? Got to be Elanga, I think, of those two. Tony says Luton at home are savages. Should I be worried? I've just realised you can't actually see my team in full, which probably doesn't help. They've got no leaks at all. Obviously isn't any leaks. Can only give you them if they're there. Mark says buy Gusto or Cash or any other Villa defender. Got to be Gusto. Cash, not nailed. There's Konza, but you've got Pau Torres not fit for this week. Moreno temporarily in for Dean. Not long term. Biker says will Nkunku play. We've not had any leaks, we should do. Football 09, Pau Torres will not start by the sounds of things. Emery said he's not available for 90 yet. Hugo, Dawson or Cher? I think I'd go Dawson, to be fair, of those two at the minute. Cher obviously coming back from a long-term injury. Eddie Howe said he'd need to check them. We're 14 minutes out to the deadline now. $2023, eh? What a year. Pretty much doubled the number of subscribers on the channel since the start of the year. Been pretty incredible the support I've had from you guys. Won the Football Content Awards. Spent a day as YouTube's creator on the rise. Been back in Sky Sports again this season and back on the fantasy show for the Premier League. Lots of good takeaways from a content perspective. So if I don't get time in the end, a huge thank you to everyone that's watched the channel this season or in the last year, supported by liking the stream. Big shout out to all the members as well. Checkmate says, are you going to sell both Salah and Son next week? Maybe just Salah. We'll see though. Depends if Haaland's back or not. We'll have a lot more information by the Game Week 21 deadline on if Haaland's back or not. I don't even know if I want to buy Haaland back in 21. If he's not in City's FA Cup squad, which is on Sunday, then I might not buy him back for the Newcastle game. But if that Brentford fixture, the rearranged one, was to slot in, that might force my hand. Premier League were rubbish with the winter break last time it was properly held, and I feel like it will make a mockery of it if they, play that again. David said, hope you had a nice Christmas holiday. Yeah, we did. It's magical when you've got little ones. Congrats on your achievement this year. Thank you. Laban, should I buy Porro or a Stupinan? I'd go Porro. Football 09 starts Solanke or Odegaard. I'd go Solanke. We are 10 minutes out for the deadline. Gusto for a -4, absolutely not. I wouldn't take a hit this week. If you could get away with rolling a transfer, having 2 for next week, that's what. Hugo says Darwin or Sterling. Maybe Sterling just. Gabrielle looking to bench one of Richarlison or Palmer. I think it's got to be Richarlison of those two. Glyn says, have you no City players? I don't own any. Yeah, join the club, mate. It's not going to be pleasant watch, is it? It's not a televised game. So that's one good thing. I can watch the Luton-Chelsea game, I guess. I've not got anyone in the United Forest game either. We don't get all the games live in the UK other than the last round. "10 minutes to go, still no leaks, unfortunately. Any Villa leaks? No. Nothing at all. I've still got the tweet deck open, guys, on another tab. I'm keeping an eye on it, but I think you guys have said in the past that it's always helpful to see my locked team on screen. It's a shame that we've not got any leaks. Sandy passed if Badia Shield starting. I don't know. Should do, surely. Middle, bench one from Gordon, Colwell, Porro. Probably Colwell. G, start 2, Richarlison, Solanke, Palmer. I'd bench Richarlison. It's really always difficult to bench players that are on penalties. Sandeep, Diaby out for Bowen. I like that move. 2 free transfers, though. I think if you can roll a transfer this week, it's a good idea. Roberto, I have Saka, Son vice-captain, Salah captain, Foden, Solanke, Alvarez, Watkins. Should I bench any to play Palmer? No, I don't think so. Stock Konza or Gusto? I'd go Konza. Alvarez captain? Yeah, it could work. I'm going to end the captain poll, guys, so you can see the results. We've had 500 votes pretty much. Oh, I should have waited till we had 500, shouldn't I? Salah with 46% of the vote. Alvarez second with 31%. Then Watkins on 15% and Son on 6%. Glyn says Bernardo for a 1 week punt. I don't really like taking 1 week punts in FPL. Particularly because we want to delay the second wild card for as long as possible. I feel like it's quite short-sighted to then be making a transfer for just the 1 game week. Like, it's fine to make those sorts of punts at the start of the season with the first wild card in your back pocket, but it does become increasingly difficult to make moves like that later in the season. So just I'd keep that in mind when you're making any moves. We've got 7 minutes now till the deadline. So if you've not locked in your transfers yet, you need to crack on because you're running out of time. It's a shame that we're not going to get any leaks before the deadline. It looks pretty pretty bleak now in terms of leaks. Obviously, I'm just going through and checking. But I don't think they're going to come, unfortunately. It would help, particularly those that are on a wild card this week. It's always annoying when the early fixture isn't a team that, you know, you get leaks for. Same again next game week deadline, which is 2 weeks away. And then it's another 2.5 weeks till the game week 22 deadline. It's quite a few games kicking off pretty much simultaneously, all on TNT Sports in the UK for that one. But yeah, we've got 5 minutes now to the deadline, and we've got no leaks. Sandeep's gone Watkins captain. I'm on Salah captain. How are we all feeling as we get close to this deadline? It's always nice to end the year with a green arrow, I know that much. Jesham, captain Salah or Alvarez? I think even if I had Alvarez, I'd still go Salah. Fires, I would bench Konza. Ashel, should I captain Watkins? He's a good pick. I don't know if Palmer's starting. We've got no leaks. So just got to assume that that's what the team is, what we'd expect it to be. Surprised there's nothing out there. But yeah, there isn't. VJ says amazing liking today. How have we done? 264. That's brilliant. Thank you, guys. 4 minutes. Well, it's basically 3 minutes, actually. If you haven't locked in yet, now is the time to do it. Bob is cursor hovering over the captain. Jake's going Dar-Wizzy captain. That is a Wizzy captain pick. John B says Hwang fit to start. Yeah, he is, but he's after the Asia Cup after this. Yeah, it looks like we're going to not get any team news for Chelsea, unfortunately. Pujan, start Colwell or transfer Trent? I think I'd just start Colwell. Oh, FPL Juice has gifted a membership. Thank you, guys. I'm not sure if it's coming through who got it. Shamil. There you go, Shamil. Make sure that you say thank you. FPL Juice says, thanks for letting us drop in. You'll see that the breaking news box is empty, guys, because we've had no leaks, unfortunately. We've not made the 30k subs either. We've fallen short by 350. Been with me all morning. I'll thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We have 2 minutes to deadline. So lock in those captain picks. For me, Salah's the best pick, followed by Alvarez and Watkins, then Son. And I think that was pretty representative in the poll. It's divided opinion. I feel like it's going to be a salty week on Twitter if you get the wrong side of the captaincy. What a morning. It's been stressful making these captaincy decisions, I'm afraid. Mark's already asking when we get the next wild card. You get it after this deadline. So you've got 1 minute to play the first wild card. So unlucky if you've only just realised that, because it's not going to make it very easy to prep for from here. But yeah, after the deadline, once the game updates again, the second wild card will then be available for anyone wanting to use it. So it could be useful in order to sell those assets who are going to the AFCON and Asia Cup. But I think it'll be more helpful to buy the players that are heading back from AFCON or the Asia Cup. But again, we're going to get blanks and doubles later in the season. And certainly with this second wildcard, playing it alongside the bench boost becomes quite a smart play to really make some progress. So we'll see how that goes. We are at the deadline now, so it is time to put those pens down. I'm just going to go back to the other view now, because obviously we didn't get any of that breaking news that we were looking out for. As I've said as well, a big gap to the next deadline. We've got 2 Saturdays' time. The next deadline, which isn't going to be easy. And it's the winter break, so we're getting this split game week because... Sorry, this isn't even the one. Here it is, look. So we get the split game week for the winter break. So you get 5 fixtures in the first week, 5 fixtures in the second week. There's still potential that the other deadline, the other blank game week fixture for Brentford and City could drop in there as well. So we'll need to see how that plays out. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. If you thought that December was bad with lack of information, when you're going into a game week like that where you've got half the teams that don't even play a fixture for another week in terms of presses and things like that, it's basically going to be a nightmare to prep for. So we've got to see how that goes. And then because we've got a round of FA Cup fixtures in the first half of the League Cup coming in first. And then beyond that, we've got another round of fixtures coming up after this for the FA Cup. Before then, we've got that next deadline, which is a midweek at the end of January. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out as well. Some interesting weeks ahead. I am going to wrap this up though. So thank you to everyone that supported the channel in 2023. It's been quite the year, doubled the number of subscribers pretty much. Big things happening on the channel, creator on the rise, won the Football Content Awards as well. It's been amazing. I'm forever grateful and excited to see what 2024 brings as well. So thank you so much. Hope you have a great new year, a great game week 20, and I'll probably be back in about 10 days time with the content for game week 21. I'm going to take a bit of a break after a busy Christmas. But yeah, thank you for all your support, and I'll catch you again soon.